Welcome to the Heartwork Podcast, where we delve into stories, struggles, and triumphs of entrepreneurship, leadership, and personal growth. I'm Dr. Sara.
And I'm Dr. Marisa. We're here to guide practitioners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and those just navigating the complexities of life on a journey of discovery that explores the dance between passion and strategy, heart and hustle.
With candid conversations, insightful interviews, and plenty of laughs, get ready to uncover how leading with heart can transform your business and life. Let's dive in.
So something that has been really fun and enjoyable for me is to really watch my own behavior and my own sense of peace in the practice evolve over these last couple months as our team has really honed in on like specific strengths and their like niches of what they really love to do. And having Dr. Cheyenne in the office and helping to share tasks with her, having Rose, our student doc, like more involved in the practice because she's in higher level trimesters now. So she just has more time and mental space. And one of the things that I've been able to do is to like literally have more fun in practice because I'm not bogged down about like, I have to watch this next video. I have to listen to this next podcast. I have all these videos to do. I gotta mark these x-rays. I gotta get it done all tonight before tomorrow has a new set of people and a new set of patients and a new set of tasks to do. And then I'm gonna offload this to my team, or I have to give that, or is it gonna get done? Or they have their own lives. I need to be the one to do it all. Like, just that constant lie that we tell ourselves that we have to be the one to have our hands in all the pockets. And this is a continued growth, right? Like, I think if you go and you start solo and then you have a team member added on, like there's a growth phase of like, okay, what do I give this team member responsibility over? And then you have a couple team members and you're like, okay, how do I split these responsibilities? And then you get like an equivalent, you get a colleague in there. Like for us in service base, I have another doctor in my practice. Like, okay, what do I get to share responsibility with them? And just having that space, like not for nothing. I mean, good for all the people that really love their vision and what they want to do as a solo business owner and solo practitioner. Having had team that's like efficient and works really well and having a doc that's a freaking rock star, like I never want to do this alone again. Yesterday, Dr. C is out. She's getting her certification for like a CE, 80-hour CE course for pediatrics and prenatal family practice. And she was out of the practice. And I'm used to having her on Mondays and Thursdays now, some of our busiest times. And not for nothing too, like this Thursday was the last day before we take a summer break. And so it was just a little extra busy, and all the kids and all the pregnancy, like all the families were in there, which is so fun, but they're longer adjustments, right? Like you're just engaging more and kids don't lay on your table and stay still, and it's just different. And what's funny is like, I know I had the capacity. I could have adjusted 50, 70 more people yesterday. But do I want to by myself? No. I was like texting her like, I miss you. Like it's so fun to share in the joy of what you're doing every day with the people around you. Like I was sending my team memes in the morning, like you guys. You should see how funny this was. And then we were laughing because Taylor will send us things as she pops up on. We'll do like educational reels, but then we'll also do like fun things just from us, like in the business on our social media. And she'll like come across a few and she'll just hot pocket send like 5 or 10. And so we were like watching some of the ones that she sent together. Like it was just fun, and being able to delegate and put things off my plate just gives me more capacity to also like be Marisa in the practice, not just be Dr. M and CEO boss lady, which I have those responsibilities and need to accomplish. But like, that doesn't mean that I can't also be present for my team just in the same way that I show up and be present with our patrons. You know, like sometimes we can get so bogged down with having to do all the tasks and then being face to face with the people that are actually coming to our business and investing in our business with the service, but also like the people that you're doing that with. And that's why I feel like a lot of team cultures can break down, because even the owners just aren't present with themselves, present with each other. And yeah, having another doc there, I'm like hankering to hire another one. I can't wait because Dr. C is part-time. And so I would love to have another person, whether part-time to fill in the gaps when she's not there, or even full-time as we continue to grow and scale. It's just so fun. It's so fun. I love it. I know you know this. You've had associates now for how many years?
8. I've literally had Dr. Bridget, now my clinical director. She's been with me for 8 years, and I have threatened her gently that I would never let her go anywhere for the sake that I mean, I adore her. I adore her family. We've literally done so much life together. We've traveled together. I've literally watched her grow a baby and navigate becoming a mama and just becoming the most brilliant, like Cairo now as she's been in this season too. There's just so much, like you said, there's so much opportunity, I think, with our people. And I've seen that with all the people that have been with me, whether they've been with me for a year, all the way up to my longest person I've had in my office now is Dr. Bridget, 8. My longest other team member is 7. I have other girls going on 4 and 5 years, and then I have new ones at the same time. And so it's wild when you get to like show up as your true authentic self with them. I mean, no joke. My team laughs more at me than any other thing. They they giggle, they laugh, they make jokes about me all the freaking time, but I love it so much. Like, it's just to the place of like where we are. There's so much camaraderie and so much life. Like, I would personally, like you're saying, I would never want to just do it by myself. Like, I know that team itself can sometimes be some of the biggest tension points for the sake of it. Really, you get to navigate and you have to make decisions for the benefit, not only for the practice and also for those individuals. And you put systems in place and you put things that are going to be honoring and also just challenging for individuals that may not necessarily see maybe themselves in that system or whatever, or deal with behavior or culture things, whatever it may be. And you're constantly developing these things as a CEO. 100%, I would choose it over and over and over again for the sake of it just brings so much joy and so much life. And I freaking love my people so much. They allow us to be able to do what we do. And they love our people so much, and it truly is the greatest gift. I do have a question, however, because I know you so well. And also just the journey that you've gone on from being the busy bee, like having to do all the things. And you've always been such an integrator and like a connector of people. That's such a gift. If anybody knows Marisa, you guys know that she has this capacity of really connecting individuals and being this beautiful butterfly of life and love and light. And so you've always had that with your team. That's never been a question whether you've been able to have that. However, the dutiful Marisa, where a lot of it had to be on your shoulders and you make all the decisions. Because I also know, I guarantee a ton of our listeners are going to be asking some of that same question of like, well, I want to just like show up and enjoy my life and enjoy my team and do all that. What had to shift for you to be able to actually do that outside of the circumstances of you hiring another doctor or making sure your team was all good? Like, what had to shift that allowed you to even step into that place?
Yeah, it's still shifting. I'm really in awe of the parts of myself that have capacity to give and to give and to give and to pour into and to pour into and to pour into. And I truly think that there are seasons of busy and that there are seasons of building. And sometimes I think when we try so hard to define like the difference between it's like the same conversation around urgent and important. Like both things have priority, but one has a little bit of a different weight around it than the other. Same thing when you're in building mode or you're scaling a business or growing a business. Like I, for so long, confused a little bit of building with busy versus being intentional around the building and staying in that season for longer than I really needed to personally, just because of fear, like, no, it should be more stable. No, it should be more well done. Like, no, we should be pulling in more finances in order to get to this next place. Or no, like I can't like take a step back at night or early in the morning until we're here, right? But there's always another here, there's always another there, there's always that next, lily pad to jump to. And so I think the like lie we can tell ourselves sometimes of like not recognizing where we're actually at is a beautiful like okay place. And just because there's going to always be a continued way to be more efficient or to delegate different tasks, like I feel like there's an endless amount of things that I could continue to delegate to people, right? Or have it on my plate. And then when I delegate those things, then there's going to be the conversation of, do I want to take a moment away from my practice, right? Like there's just so much that you can continue to navigate in that space. And then it's like, okay, then I take a step away and it's like, do you fill it with you things or do you fill it with networking?
Mhm.
Like, do you fill it with meetings, right? Or do you fill it with marketing? Or do you fill it with just going to get a pedicure and a manicure in the fucking morning? Like, there's always going to be those tugs and those pulls. And like I said, I'm really grateful for the building capacity because it's allowed me to build an extremely successful practice. But sometimes it's really hard to like just take a moment to step back and be like, the season that I'm in is still very successful.
Mhm.
It's still doing really well. Just because I can continue to fine tune and grow and want to make sure that it's healthy and sustainable and profitable, like those are always going to be continued evolutions as we continue to go through the seasons of business and practice and what those constriction pressure cooking times are and those expansive growth skyrocketing times are. Nothing's ever linear. Healing isn't. Having these conversations with yourself isn't. Feeling a shift isn't because when I started to shift, I was like, I'm going to hire all these people. It's going to be great. I'm going to have a person in each role at all times. And so we're going to be able to delegate and do so much more in the practice. And then it's like you get certain people in and you realize there's a whole lot of other problems that come around with having 9 team members. And like, do you really want part-time or do you want full-time or do you want to fill in the gaps? And do you really want students or do you want like adults? Do you want younger aged individuals? Do you want older aged individuals? Doesn't matter. Is someone in a season of life of this or a season of life in that? Like, there's so many different things and questions you can ask yourself that at the end of the day, it was like, no one's going to have me take a step back except me. And is it even really taking a step back or is it really taking steps forward because I'm also caring just as much about me as I am about the practice?
Mhm.
And working out more regularly and getting back to meal prepping in the way that I love to. Like, those are all things that bring me so much joy. And I've shared this in past episodes where it's like, when you're only focused on one aspect of your life, like your business, which is a huge priority, especially when you're starting up. And I don't want to lie to people and pretend like you can be frolicking in the fields as you're building a practice. Like, it requires hard fucking work. Like, whatever business that you're doing requires you to be present in the community and share and figure out all these different nuances that nobody really teaches you about scaling and growing a business, especially when you don't necessarily like spend a lot of time in other people's businesses trying to learn and grow from them at first. It's hard work, but again, like no one's going to come tell you at some point that like, okay, like you can focus back on you now because you get so drained on just focusing on that one thing. It's all you eat, it's all you sleep, it's all you breathe. You lose those parts of yourself and then you get really really nitpicky and you get granular with things that don't even really require your energy in the same way. And if you just had other outlets, you might actually find if you had space to really think and enjoy other things, downloads come to you way faster, way easier because you're not, it's like the same thing we talk about with kids. You're not in like busy brain. You're not like going 1,000 miles a minute. Like you cannot stop and smell the roses if you're going 80 miles an hour. Like you can't even appreciate what you're experiencing. So I think that's part of what's been the biggest shift is one recognizing like, your excuses of not going to the gym in the morning or not doing something for yourself because you're staying up late doing something else for the sake of X, like isn't really it anymore. So what is it in you that you're still holding attachment to? And it was very much the control of needing to compare my current practice to my last practice and how quickly we grew in that time. Needing control around the way that it should be or the way that it should look before we did something else or before I gave myself permission to be able to focus on like my grander life. And you realize at some point, like time is just like flying you by. And if we're not intentional about the way that we're showing up for those minutes and seconds, they're gone. They're gone forever. Um, so it was more like, I think also one of the things too that really did help, it sounds so cliche, but like in this January, I got together with 3 friends, brought like 20 different magazines. I think I spent, you know how much magazines cost nowadays?
Oh, so much. I bought a bunch for my team too. I was like, "What in the world? Why are they so expensive?"
$150 on like 10 magazines. What in the world? Anyway, it was worth it because I got a poster board, right? And like four of my, three of my friends and I, we got together and we like vision casted for ourselves and like not our business, nothing related specifically to the business, but like for ourselves. Now, yeah, I got some blazing paths, internationally acclaimed, discover, create your story, be seen, do your things. I got a heart work retreat on there. So a little teaser for something coming soon, a little training leadership. But I think that too, like kind of settled in like, damn, like I have so many things that I love. I have so many passions that I enjoy. I have so many hobbies and things that bring me joy. Like, why? Why are you not exercising the right and the privilege that you have to live in those spaces? So, yeah. And then again, like not for nothing, but this last 2 months, because I've also had yes, having the other doc was helpful, and I made sure that our business was at a place that we were able to hire another doc and, like, grow them into honoring what they deserve to be compensated for as time goes on and all of that, like, in a way that's healthy. But truly, that allowed me to, even just during shift time, be able to focus on other tasks and things that I have to do, which allowed me to really granularly look at the practice in a different way and lens and perspective, and not just kind of this 360 because I didn't have the space to really like I always tracked numbers, we always did this, but really like understand and analyze what it meant
Mhm.
in a bigger way. And so that was a huge eye opener for me, but I w I just didn't have the time because I was so bogged down with everything else. So again, like you just don't know what is gonna come your way or what's gonna surface up when you actually give yourself the space to do it. And sometimes that means, yeah, you're gonna pay for help to be able to have that capacity. Sometimes it means that you are gonna have to let go of a little control and offload things to people. And sometimes it's gonna require you giving permission for yourself to be able to really take a step back and do that. But just because you're taking a step back, or just because, again, we've talked about this before, like you're delegating off your plate doesn't mean that you're bad at managing your plate. It just means you're getting better at managing the things that really require your specific time and energy for the role that you play within and as CEO of your business. Or if you are not the CEO, again, in the lane that you're cultivating and creating within a business in an entrepreneurial journey.
Basically, to sum that up, as much as I can or like graciously do that, like there had to be an identity journey that you obviously went on for the sake of you being able to say, I need to let go of control enough to be able to open myself up to the idea of inviting somebody else in to take over some of these tasks, to be able to allow me to be able to see something differently. It had to be a place where there is so much wonderment of worth and love and care for yourself enough to say, hey, I can give myself permission to say, I want to honor the things that I love, that I enjoy, that I have this like freaking romanticized heart about, that I have these things that I love to give to this world. But when we are so freaking like zeroed in, and not for nothing, like you said, like there are seasons of that. I hope that whoever's listening to this, you're not hearing this for the sake of you're not going to be potentially be in those seasons. And that's also okay to be in those seasons of time. However, sometimes when you're in them, when you cannot find yourself getting out, it's like giving yourself permission to come back out, open yourself back up, connect back to yourself, and give yourself the opportunity to say, I am loved here, no matter how much I'm trying to deathly grip on to this life that I think I need to be building. Well, also, the question that can come then is potentially, what are you missing by holding on so tightly? What are you missing in the opportunity of hiring a potential addition to your team that's going to allow you to be able to see something different, to build your leadership skills, to honor their brilliance and their growth and their joy and what they have to offer the world, right? Like it's like there's so much opportunity that comes from you acknowledging your value, your worth enough to come out of the space of like, yeah, I can be brilliant. I can run this by myself, but I don't have to. And and the cool part I love that you said at the beginning is like, I don't ever freaking want to again. You know, like now that it's like you taste it, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is just so fucking cool. Like we get to do this with people. Like what a freaking gift that we get to do this with people. It's so amazing.
I love it. Never go back. It's just fun. And like you said, yeah, team can be some of the most like tense inducing points, and there is ebbs and flows when you work with humans, but we're in a season right now where I have a team around me that's also continuing to want to grow and invest in themselves and level into that, and I think that's really amazing, and it continues to create the culture that we are all looking for, right, too, and we've attracted that in. I have team members that used to be with us that are no longer with us anymore, but you can still come and, like, patron the business and participate in events and activities, and, like, it's also so fun to watch their lives
Mm,
grow and expand too, knowing that they were a part of your business's story for a period of time, but are still a part of, like, your story too, in a way. It's just really cool. And sometimes, again, when we're so bogged down with always thinking 10 steps ahead and all the things we have to do, which there's never going to be a time where there's not 10 things to do or like a million ways that you can step forward. So, again, no one's gonna stop you and say, like, "You can rest now." Like, you have to start designing that and creating that in your life, and I think, too, like, I have bigger goals for my life that don't just include the practice, like, Alex and I do wanna have a family, like, we wanna do things, and it's kinda easy when that's, like, a little bit further off in the distance to say, like, "Okay, like, I got time before I really need to, like, have a different structure or do things maybe a little bit more intentionally around those spaces," but it comes up and you're like, it's not just gonna flip like a switch. Like, cold turkey might work with certain foods or, like, little things that you got going on in your life, but when it comes to really, like, habits and objectives and the way you wanna design structure or lack of structure in your life, like, whatever that looks like, takes time to kind of figure that out and also, again, like, step into that new version of yourself that is gonna embody that new experience. So yeah, it's just kind of like this beautiful invitation to go there that came alongside of wanting that and cultivating that and forcing the opportunity for it and being open to what came as a result of it. And our practice hasn't slowed down, it's continued to grow. So like any fear around like, are we really truly ready for this? Are we really truly in a good spot is again, more so sometimes our own mindsets with it, and I think that was also a really fun thing that I noticed over the last couple months is that I realized that I was trying to train my team so much about, like, limiting beliefs and releasing things that there was a situation, and I was like, "Ah, shit. It's me. I'm the I'm the problem." There were, like, 2 different situations around it, and it was just so cool to, like, experience that and hear that, again, like, my team it's also an awesome opportunity for you to have other people in your life that get to sometimes force you to, like, look in the mirror a little bit because you might think that you have certain things together, and you're like, "Oh, hmm." But you have to be present to experience that. You have to be present and observant to, like, notice when that actually comes along.
mhm. I love for the when you mentioned the team sometimes is a beautiful mirror or, like, when things pop up, like, I'm sure your team maybe is starting to do this or has done this already. My team is always really gracious how they do it, but they will call me out, especially when it comes to, like, if I am running a cycle, more so probably just because we just have this relationship. My clinical director, Dr. Bridget, she is not afraid to gently call things out. If I, like, came in, like, literally the other week, I came in and asked her a question at literally 3:25. We open at 3:30. I came and asked her this question, it was like gave her a moment where it was just like, wasn't anything crazy, but it was a question enough to like kind of derail her a little bit for like thinking that she had to think through this thing for the rest of the shift. And it was one of those moments that just probably wasn't the smartest moment in my life to come and pose a question for her that would like give her the opportunity to like worry and think about some things through the rest of the shift. So then she gently actually sent me a message after. She's like, "Can I just ask for some more clarity of what you were asking? Because for one, I don't feel like we had any opportunity to really talk about it. And I would really love to know, like, just make sure that I understand what you're saying, all that type of thing. And also really gently, could you for in the future not just come and ask me those questions right before a shift starts?" Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, obviously I want to be able to support my people too. And in my own things sometimes you just start going and you don't really recognize. It's like you can have people in your life that are gonna gently call you out, and not in a way that they're just like, hey, don't ever do this because this made me feel this way, because she's still honoring me as her employer, as her boss, but also as somebody that's doing life together, and I want to empower her, but she also has the permission, and I've given her the permission to empower me at the same time, to uphold who I am as her leader at the same time too. So what a beautiful gift. Again, like when you talk about team development and all that as well, it's like when you have people in your life that can do that for you and step in there, but you're not insecure if they say those types of things, you're only empowering space of development, leadership, joy, fun, all that type as well, as long as your own shit doesn't get in the way.
Like, everyone is listening. You are fun. You have the capacity to like have joy in what you do and relate with the people around you in a way that makes work not feel like it has to be work. They're not mutually exclusive. Like, you can laugh with your team and share a joke and take a 2-minute pause that doesn't have to have any conversation related to some task or business thing. It can just be relating with the people around you. Really.
So also, Dr. M kind of teased this, but I want to give you guys a little bit of information. We're still a little bit, a couple weeks out. We are actually going to host our first ever team and leadership workshop weekend, actually here in Knoxville, coming up in September. So we will get you guys more information, but we are so excited about it. We're going to be at Freedom Chiropractic for a while. We're actually going to also work with one of my coaches here in Knoxville at her property that's just absolutely gorgeous, and allow for some self-development, team bonding, team development at the same time. This is going to be for those entrepreneurs. It could just be yourself, but it also could be for those team members that you're really desiring to develop, not only just with systems, but with heart, with leadership, with opportunity to say, hey, let's come together and bring this. We've talked about this, that in our profession specifically, there are opportunities to bring team to specific conferences, but we feel like there's a little bit of a gap when it comes to places that we can bring team for leadership development around chiropractic for sure. And also, how do you build a place of fun, of building a place of culture that you show up, your team shows up, that they actually want to be there and they want to live this life on purpose with potential, with something that matters more to them. So that's what this weekend is going to be about. We are so excited to get you guys more information. Stay tuned to that. Join our VIP list because we will be sending out more information in the next coming weeks.
Totally. Can't wait to put the heart back in the systems.
So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Heartwork Podcast. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to lead with heart in your business and life.
If you enjoyed this, subscribe so you never miss a release, rate our show, leave us a review, get on our VIP email list, and join our exclusive Facebook group, The Heartwork Life, to plug into our community and learn from us and other heart-led entrepreneurs on a weekly basis.
We look forward to chatting with you next time.
Bye!